Hey everyone, we're here today talking about 6 tips to improve your cutting accuracy. Cutting is one of the first steps in beginning any project, so it's important that we have the right tools and have the right knowledge to make our project turn out the best and most accurate that we can. Let's get started. One of the first steps to more accurate cutting is having the right tools. This is one of my favorite rotary cutters, the Olfa Splash rotary cutter. This is a 45mm rotary blade. I love these cutters for a lot of reasons, but one is the comfortable grip. It's good for both a right-handed cutter or a left-handed cutter. It also has a blade change latch on the back that makes it quick and easy to change your rotary blade when your blade gets dull. Having a clean blade prevents skipping in your cuts and helps keep your fabric edges clean. Next up is to have a good rotary mat. This particular rotary mat is also made by Olfa, and it's super important to have a rotary mat when using a rotary cutter to protect any surface that you cut on. So the last of the notions that we're going to talk about today is a good rotary cutting ruler. So my favorite rulers are from Creative Grids, and one of the reasons why I love them so much is because they have these nice little circle grippies on the back that help keep your fabric in place. They have, a lot of their rulers have markings in 1-inch increments and also 1/2-inch increments, which I love. So whichever way the ruler is facing, whichever numbers are readable in the direction it's facing, that's the measurement. So right now this is 1.5 inches, 2.5 inches, and then if you flip it, it's 1 inch, 2 inch. I love that for cutting lots of different projects. Another thing I love about the Creative Grids rulers is the fine lines that they have on their rulers that make it really easy to cut 1/8-inch increments as well. They come in a massive selection of sizes, which make it really easy to find a ruler that's perfect for any size of project. Our next tip that we're going to talk about to improve our cutting skills is pressing our fabric. Whenever we begin a project, it's important to press the fabric first so that you can get clean cuts when you take it to the rotary mat to cut it. Oftentimes fabrics have these hard creases in them, so you definitely want to press out those hard creases before you begin. One of my favorite products for pressing is this flatter smoothing spray. It's starch free and it comes with a really fine mist sprayer on, which gives an even spray over your fabric. The smells are incredible as well. One of the tips I wanted to share also today is to measure your fabric pieces when cutting from your ruler rather than measuring from your mat. This is something that was hard for me to get used to, but once I did, it really improved the accuracy of my cutting. I used to always line up my fabric pieces on the along the rotary mat, along the bottom edge and here, and then I would square it up and cut my pieces from it. But I found that if I needed, say, a 5-inch square, I can cut a 5-inch, lay this out and cut a 5-inch square, cut it, and then flip it around and even it up. And I found that it's more accurate than the cutting mat. And the reason why is that these rulers are way more accurate in their measurement than these rotary mats. And sometimes I've even checked where I've lined these up, and you can see sometimes how the lines maybe grow or are off just a little bit. So always measure from your ruler rather than your cutting mat. So our last and final tip is to measure twice and cut once. There's been often times when I've been making a project where I get in a hurry and I get a little bit too hasty when cutting. So if I'm wanting to cut a 3.5-inch square, you cut from this side, or I can use the ruler this way to measure my 3.5-inch square. So measure twice. Oftentimes I count on my ruler, 1/2, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, just to make sure I'm cutting exactly what I need to be cutting. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope these tips have been helpful for you.